Hey guys, welcome to I'm Kovic.
And I'm Bruce Greene.
And welcome back to the Nintendo Ninit, where we cover all the hot Nintendo news that no one gives a shit about.
Hey, well, some people give a shit about it. On the last episode of Nintendo Power Time, we ran down how it's looking like Nintendo's next console, codenamed the NX, is looking more and more like it's going to launch in late 2016.
In fact,
2016!
2016!
Sorry about that, yeah.
Guarantee it. We got even more Nintastic information for you guys today.
It's not even a pun.
For the Nin Ultimate Blast Zone. Lawrence, I hate you.
Doesn't make any sense. This time it relates to how the console may work, and unlike Nintendo, it actually sounds technologically advanced.
Take it away, Lawrence.
These details all come from NeoGAF forum poster Rosti. Rosti? I don't know how to do
Rosti.
the,
Yeah,
the
Rosti.
dots. Whatever. Anyway, he discovered a patent filed on June 3rd, 2014.
Wow.
Yeah, the patent is titled Supplemental Computing Devices for Game Consoles.
Ooh.
And it supports the idea that the NX will have a detachable gaming unit and also a potentially clever cloud-based gaming infrastructure.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. For starters, it sounds like the NX will have a detachable portable gaming unit, maybe a controller, that can run games on its own, as the patent claims to describe, quote, a supplemental computing device configured to detachably couple to the gaming console.
Wow. The cool part is that the supplemental device contains one or more processors configured to provide, over the physical communication interface, processing resources to the game console to assist the game console in locally executing the game.
So let's go ahead and translate all that nerd speak, which it basically means when we're talking about supplemental device, it will actually help the main console render and process games while it's attached.
Cool?
That's a big question mark, maybe.
Lawrence?
Maybe. I mean, this lines up with some rumors we've heard in the past that kind of describe the NX as having a detachable gaming unit.
Sure.
So there's the idea that it's a mobile and console combined. So you take up the little controller that ostensibly has a screen in it, you play your game, then you slam it down on a dock, and then now we're learning that mobile will actually add to the processing power of the NX when it's attached that way.
Crazy.
Yeah,
That's
really
pretty cool. The idea being that you can basically take the same game with you when you go, and then come home, plug it back in, play the same game, but with better graphics and a higher resolution.
Wow. That's really cool.
Yeah, so it's an appealing idea, but Nintendo's apparently taking the idea even further.
Okay.
Not only can the NX grab the detachable unit for extra processing power, but it can also reach across the internet and use other idle NX units to help it render games in the cloud.
Ah, that is cloud gaming. That thing that was supposed to make the Xbox One awesome, but kind of disappeared. They like barely mentioned it, and they
Yeah.
talked about it with Titanfall, and it just really didn't come to light.
Yeah, which is really strange for like their flagship Halo. They're just like, dedicated servers, fuck it, who cares? So the concept itself is not really that new.
Yeah.
We've seen this before. But when you're not using your NX at home, you can offer it up to the internet to remotely process game code for other people that are playing, theoretically.
That's really cool. Nintendo's patent offers a new twist, though. According to the patent, a user may be compensated based on an amount, e.g. time, raw resources, etc., that the user shares his or her supplemental computing device or indicates that he or she is willing to share the supplemental computing device.
Lawrence, can I make Nintendo Fun Bucks?
What the hell
Yes,
are you
you
talking
can.
about? What does this mean, Lawrence?
It means that you'll earn some amount of currency or credit based on the amount of time that you offer your NX up to the cloud.
Whoa!
Yeah, so if other people are using your console, you'll earn some kind of thing. Like, they want to reward you for doing that. It doesn't nail down exactly what that is or what those credits are,
Yeah.
but it lists a few bits as examples. It says you can exchange maybe that currency for access to the cloud yourself.
Yep.
Game discounts, DLC, social networking flair like a little badge or something like that, and points for redemptions on digital or physical prizes. So
Weird.
it kind of sounds like their old Club Nintendo. They used to give you coins for filling out surveys and registering games that you could then exchange for like cool calendars and soundtracks and things like that.
Right.
Maybe this is taking the place of that.
The patent even gets a bit more technical, acknowledging that internet latency will play a factor in how remote consoles will be chosen and delegated cloud computing tasks.
Right, it describes that consoles that are low latency can cloud compute, quote, real-time graphics and sound effects, while laggier connections can handle less time-intensive tasks like weather effects and AI computations.
Yeah, so to summarize, it sounds like the NX is this crazy tentacle monster of a console that can yank in any other NX hardware, either locally or remotely over the internet, to cobble together a massive sentient game processing network.
We're making Skynet anime.
That's really cool.
I'm very excited.
Really, really cool.
Yeah, and this can even happen locally, right, Lawrence?
Yeah, the patent describes that, quote, multiple supplemental devices may be daisy-chained to one another and or the game console may be physically coupled or wirelessly coupled to supplemental computing devices.
Oh, so you're telling me I can just get one NX, strap it on top of another one, and it'll go faster for more pixels?
Yes, that's actually exactly right. That's what it sounds like.
All
You
right,
can either
weird.
get multiple NXs or multiple controllers and just plug them all in a line, and it'll make the whole system run better.
Man, it's like the Sega Tower of Power. It's coming back.
It's just like a PC. If you're not happy, just pour thousands of dollars into it until it can put out 6K resolution at 120 frames a second.
The more money you dump into it, the more happiness your level goes up. What?
It's a cool idea, one that Microsoft couldn't really get off the ground in a meaningful way, so will Nintendo be able to?
That's a very interesting question. The company, at least under the ex-president Iwata, typically tried to use existing tech to create some sort of new experience.
Right, both the Nintendo Wii and the Wii U didn't really break any technological ground, but used existing, or to say it another way, inexpensive technology to try and create a novel experience.
Right, if we extend that mentality to what we're reading here, the reality may be a little less impressive than it sounds.
Yeah, since Nintendo generally sells hardware at a profit, odds are the NX will be relatively underpowered by itself and rely on cloud computing to achieve modern visuals. Lawrence, how much do you think it'll rely on that?
I don't know. If our read on Nintendo is correct, probably somewhere in the middle,
Yeah.
where if you have your NX offline by itself, it's kind of a kind of shitty console. But if it's working in ideal situations, it'll actually be pretty awesome. If that idea works out, if that's what they're thinking about, it's actually a pretty cool idea from a business perspective, at
Yeah.
least. You get to sell underpowered / cheaper hardware and increase your margins, and then rely on the networked power of it to bring it up to modern standards.
Right.
So basically, you get to sell half a PlayStation 4 at a PlayStation 4's cost, and then rely on the internet to fill in the gaps for you.
Right.
Yeah. Nintendo could go nuts with this idea of daisy-chaining coupled hardware too. Instead of doggedly packing backwards compatibility into every other console, they could split that out into external processing nodes that would provide that functionality for you.
Good point. Again, these are more costs they can pull out of the console itself and sell at a profit in addition.
The idea of getting nickel and dimed isn't very appealing, but would you pay $50 to play GameCube games on the NX?
I think a lot of people might, actually.
Maybe,
There's
yeah.
another potential problem with this vision of the NX platform, too: game development.
Yeah, any game that runs on the NX would have to be scalable by design.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that means that the game has to be able to run on the base hardware without either local or cloud support from other hardware. That's going to be kind of tough for game developers.
Yep. Accordingly, the game would also have to scale up dynamically as more resources are added or taken away.
Yeah, say that the NX is providing weather effects to your game, but then some user turns off his console, and then the game becomes like an N64 title.
Your game would have to handle that sudden drop in resources without crashing, and that's not even accounting for transition. It'd look pretty crappy if you're in the middle of an awesome rainstorm and it clicks off like an angry god flipped a switch.
That'd be strange.
Yeah, it would be.
This environment is not unlike PC or even mobile development, which has to account for multiple hardware configurations, sometimes even updates yearly, just with the added sticking point that the hardware can change in the middle of a game session.
Yeah, so if Nintendo's had problems courting third-party developers in the past, making an even less stable development environment may not be the best way to get them back.
Whether or not this tech is something we'll see in the NX or just a cool idea Nintendo wanted to lock down with a patent, it still jives with comments from the current Nintendo president said in a recent interview with Time magazine.
Yeah, Lawrence, what did Tatsumi Kimishima say?
He said, quote, "I can assure you we're not building the next version of Wii or Wii U. It's something unique and different. It's something where we have to move away from those platforms in order to make something that will appeal to our consumer base."
Interesting. A console powered by the ghosts of my grandparents.
We got a decade of Nintendo Wii under our belt now, and I think they're pretty comfortable, especially with the flagging sales of the Wii U, that it's time to do something else. And hopefully that means a fucking awesome, technologically robust, cloud-based gaming platform that'll be everything we've ever wanted from Nintendo, which is what we cover every week here on the Nintendo Nin Blast, Nin Ultimate, Nintendo Time.
It's called the Nintendo.
Hey, we heard back from marketing, we can't have no in the title.
Ooh, that burns.
It sounds negative, it drives people away.
Oh.
Lawrence, are you
Nin,
hungover at
yes,
all?
nin awesome, nin
Obviously,
time.
when he's hungover, he keeps talking.
I can't hear you, I'm shouting.
He's better at hiding it than I am, but
See?
I went into that, yeah, it was where they did the Call of Duty championships, and it still smelled like body odor all up in there. You'd think they could have aired it out by then, but whatever.
I got into like that weird VIP area, but you couldn't see anything. And I asked him, like, is that Skrillex? Like, that is not Skrillex. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Who cares?
Hey guys, our lives are really, really hard.
Yeah.
What?
We live really hard lives where we can't get into VIP after parties.
No, I got in.
Oh, no,
Yeah, yeah,
never
yeah.
mind, never mind. Adam's
A man
bad luck.
in the bathroom gave me a golden ticket.